I noticed Dave dropped out.
He'll be back. He'll be
Yeah,
back.
just have to
What
make
did it
sure he
yell at?
doesn't handle a firearm on stream. We are on YouTube for this.
No, we can edit that out. We'll just put a big black square over him.
Well, I need to add him. I need to add him to the stream, I guess. Hey, hello.
See, there we go. Big black square. Done. You guys are way ahead of me.
He's down again. Is this working now?
So I do see that we are live on YouTube. So welcome to the Canada Guns Talk Show, episode 119. I think Dave called it "Maybe Not Everything Is Banned." We're your hosts. I'm crazy. Introduce yourself. Which I can't see which way this is going. Introduce yourselves.
I'm debatably sane.
I am not
Also-
debatably.
Also known as Runkle of the Bailey, but
And I'm trying to get this going on Utreon. I see people waiting for it.
On Utreon, that's interesting.
Sorry, Odyssey.
Okay, because I see I am the only person watching on YouTube because we haven't streamed there in an eternity. Is this streaming on Facebook as well, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, trying to think of where in the hell to go to see any
On
of the
Facebook?
live chat.
Well, I can see the live chat here. So I'll get Facebook and YouTube just right inside StreamYard.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Do we have any? Let me go check the thread on Reddit and see if there was anything interesting anyone wanted to. Oh, there's a lot of things here.
God.
Yep.
I've seen the Reddit or threads sometimes, so sometimes they're not always the best.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of talk about C21, which is not surprising. I suppose let's start off with what we've done for gun things since the last time we streamed, which I don't even remember when that was. You want to start off, Ian?
Basically nothing. Because two reasons. One, I've been so busy that like literally I finished up one thing, had a nap because I've been getting like zero sleep, and then woke up to do this. I've got some dinner over there because I haven't had time to eat anything. I am just running around a little, crazily, and every time I think I've got some spare time, somebody, something just happens to make that completely impossible. So, I did get, I'm working on a review of this thing, not really a night vision scope, but an IR scope with a recording thing on it, and that is kind of cool. So I hope to get that done at some point. The problem with that is, just as sort of ahead of time spoilers, it seems to really struggle on snow. Snow, it doesn't work all that well at. So the ideal would be if we got some sort of day with no snow where I could test this. But, that's probably not going to happen until like August. So, welcome to Edmonton. So, I suspect that the people who said that to me going, hey, would you do a review, will probably want me to get the video out before August. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to do that. But it's a neat little thing. I got to get out to the range again to do more testing on it. But I played around with that a bit. I am also, I guess this is kind of a gun thing. This is the last day that people can vote on the Gundies, which
Right.
U.S. award. It kind of sounds like underwear. Not gonna lie, the name of the award is silly, but I'm up in two categories. One category, so the first category is best breakout creator, which is cool. I don't know that I'm the person who deserves it in that category, but it's kind of cool that it's there. But the other one is hilarious. It is the funniest thing to happen. I'm nominated as Voice of the Second Amendment.
Voice of the Second Amendment in Canada.
In Canada,
I want to win that one so bad because
in Minecraft.
so I mean it's the last day to vote. We're probably not going to move the needle much at this point if I'm way behind. But if I win
nobody
voice of the
watches this. This is gonna have no effect on your chances.
Oh, excellent. But like if I win that, that'll be the funniest thing of all time because it'll be a Canadian going, really? Really? It's also in Texas, so I need to look up the laws. I'm gonna have to actually like phone a Texas lawyer and probably send them some money and go, what are the rules on me carrying a firearm in Texas?
I don't
That
think they
is
have
a-
constitutional carry.
No, they do have constitutional
They've got
carry.
permit
That was
permitless now,
fairly
but
recent.
I don't know if permitless carry applies to, dangerous foreigners.
There was also some debate as to whether you were even like a lot of people would get the New Hampshire non-resident permit, but there was some debate as to whether even that would allow you to carry in the US because importing a firearm for the purposes of carrying it for self-defense is not a valid reason on an ATF Form 6 to import a firearm. So there was some debate as to whether you even could carry, even if you had a permit to do it.
Well, you guys are overthinking this. Talk with a Southern accent. Call it a day.
What I'd probably look to do is I'd probably find somebody in Texas who is willing to lend me, both a carry piece and a carry rig. Because,
Well, that's
yeah,
relevant.
But at that point, then aren't they technically committing a felony because you're not an individual who is allowed to have a firearm transferred to them, and that would be considered a transfer?
I don't know. And that's why I've got to look all this up because as a firearms lawyer, I know that the easiest way to get into trouble is just being like, hey, let's make us some assumptions. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to call a firearms lawyer who actually practices in Texas and be like, so what am I allowed to carry out there?
So you're saying you're going to get in touch with Colin Noir?
Is he in Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Texas,
Oh, yeah.
and he is a lawyer.
Oh, I wonder if he'd actually take my my call if I was calling as. What law firm is he at?
I have no idea. I just know that he has mentioned several times that he is a lawyer.
But what kind
Yeah.
of lawyer? Wait, is he like a lawyer that had to take the easy way of not corporate law, so he has to pick easy law?
I mean, I have no idea.
You're
I've
muted,
only
Adriel.
ever watched the things of him talking about the Second Amendment. I've never really tried to delve into what kind of law he practices, other than just knowing that he is a lawyer.
He lost.
You have to send him certified mail on your letterhead, and it's like, please, bro, can I borrow some guns?
Well, where does James Reeves from TFB TV live?
Louisiana.
I thought so, yeah, because he is also a lawyer.
Yes.
I don't know if he's ever talked about what law firm he's at, but he has mentioned that he doesn't go too far into YouTube because he enjoys being a lawyer too much to stop being a lawyer.
I mean, my goal is to have the YouTube become the income so that at that point I can just
Oh yeah. By the
stop
way,
charging for lawyering.
Just do the interesting cases.
But yeah,
Yeah,
and
Well, and just help people because they need helping and not being like, because it sucks sometimes when you're like, hey, there's this old grandmother who's been falsely charged with something, whatever, and who like literally lives in a tent somewhere, and you're sitting there going, yeah, now I got to charge you whatever money, and she's like, I ate my old shoe yesterday. You're going, okay, really? Like, okay, fine. That sucks, right? When you've got people who've got no money and you're sending them a bill. That's not what I got into law to do. I got into law to help people. So I'd much rather be able to just say, hey, it's covered. Like, I do the things online. And, that would
People
be
with
sort
money,
of the...
no money don't pay their bills anyways.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes the people you least expect are the ones who just are really dedicated to paying you. So I've had people who lived in a trailer that is abandoned out in the forest kind of thing, who are making sure to pay me like $100 a month until they're square because they're just like, it's the right thing to do. I'm like, huh. And then you get people who are like, doctors who go, yeah, I'd rather just not pay you, and prove to be a giant nuisance. So it's hard to predict sometimes. But I'd also at that point sort of focus on the people who can't pay me. Because, yeah, if you can hire somebody, it's like, okay, cool. There's lots of lawyers if you got money. But if you got if you fall into that gap between like legal aid coverage and actually able to afford counsel, that's a bad place to be. And there's a lot of people who end up walking into a courtroom just on their own with no help because nobody's there to help them. So I want to be there to help people. That's kind of that's my feeling on that one.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
I see that YouTube is kill now, so we can handle guns and not get the channel yeeted.
Oh no, the channel's getting yeeted. Don't worry. I am
Someone would
making
have to
sure.
watch.
I am making sure of that tonight.
Oh,
you're just gonna log on and be like, all right, YouTube, let's. I dare you.
Start
Yeah,
juggling
like
handguns.
no, but it's already attached. YouTube doesn't care as long as you don't show the method of screwing it onto the gun.
I mean like this? Oh.
Oh my god!
Hey YouTube, look at this. This is a solid piece of metal. This is not in fact a suppressor. It's just nothing.
Looks
Can't
cool,
open
though.
it.
YouTube is still like, you know what? We're not gonna risk it.
Were you?
Well, who was it? I think In Range TV is asking people who's gotten actually struck to contact them because there's a guy making an article about this.
There have been a few people who've been actually struck, including a couple of
channels.
Yeah, I was gonna say, including some smaller people whose channels have just gone away. Like,
well,
and I mean,
I don't think Recoil TV was a small channel, and their channel's gone.
Oof, yeah. I mean, some people heard about this and went and rushed and started. I'm pretty safe because I don't do a lot of firearm videos, right? Most of my video content is me talking to a screen. Yeah. But, I did go and check some of my previous videos and I'm like, oh, good. I don't do any mag changes that anybody can see. Because it's like, hey, I'm running around doing 3-gun, but the view is from my helmet cam. So you can't tell what mag I'm putting in and, what it is. So YouTube can't get upset about that. I have that video on that little stupid shotgun. They can't complain about that one because its mag size is 2. Oh, wait, not really a mag, but, it takes 2. That's less than 30. I feel like we're good there. So, yeah, but yeah, for lots of people who did things like, gun assembly and so forth, or like takedowns and reviews, a lot of them are having to they're either just eating a strike or several strikes, because that's what's happening is they'll go through and they'll look at like several of your videos, and then you get multiple strikes all at once, which takes your channel down, and that's the end of it. Yeah, I'm lucky in that regard, but some people are just. And so you see some people have done things like one smaller guy that I was looking at just was like, I'm taking down every video until I've manually reviewed it. And I'm like, who the hell has time?
Why?
Even Demo Ranch, I was watching a thing of his while he was at SHOT Show on his second channel. He was like, I might have to go through my entire backlog, which he's got a fucking huge backlog.
Yeah.
And he's like, I might have to go through the whole backlog, private everything until I can review them, to make sure that YouTube's not going to yeet the channel. And he is the biggest gun tuber on the platform.
Yeah. I mean, I suspect that, if I'm planning on going to the Gundies in person if anyone else is there, because I don't know. I've never like dealt with them at all, so I don't know if this is actually a big deal or if people think it's a joke or whatever. But
I saw a video on Brandon Herrera's channel from last year's Gundies when he won an award or two, and there's a fairly large number of firearms creators who show up to this.
yeah, I suspect that a topic of discussion is going to be, so YouTube sucks, right, guys?
So get
And
off. So
they're
move to
probably all
something
just-
else.
The problem is that that's where the audience is.
Mhm.
And, you know, I've actually had more people tell me that they want to watch my stuff on Rumble instead of YouTube than have actually ever watched a video of mine on Rumble.
Yeah, In Range has said the same thing, and most people are fairly convinced it's bots. There's just bots that go around and try and say, "I want to watch you on Rumble," and it's not.
Oh, that might make
not actually a
sense.
person.
Far too many of the comments are far too similar for it to be anything else. That's my suspicion anyway. It's hard to tell because sometimes people act kind of like bots, right? Groups of people
NPCs.
all, yeah, I don't want to use the term, but like groups of people who aren't really thinking hard about something tend to kind of become very herdy, and it can be very difficult to tell them from bots. But yeah, sometimes I'll see things like 10 comments, all of which have Rumble in caps. And I'm like, why is everyone all capsing this brand name?
And like I've got my stuff on Rumble, Odyssey, Utreon, Full 30,
Full 30 's still around?
BitChute. It's on Jukesy now, which is like another platform, which does not look nearly as good as Full 30 does. But
What happened?
they don't get like 1% of the views they get on YouTube. None of them do.
Yeah. Like I'll
Yeah,
post something
yes.
and it's just like nobody watches it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Now, if YouTube actually enforces their terms of service as they are, like their community guidelines as they are, all the gun YouTube channels will get struck and they'll all have to move because they have a couple of things in there. They have the like, okay, you can't show assembling the lower of an AR-15. Okay, very specific. I guess we'll have to put those somewhere else. You can't show how to manufacture ammo. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean reloading? Does that like what does manufacture mean?
Considering they're taking inserting a magazine into a firearm as assembling a firearm with a 30-round magazine, yes, they're
Yeah.
going to take reloading as assembling ammunition
And
or
then
manufacturing ammunition.
if you go on to the sale of regulated goods policy, any video that links to or facilitates access to firearms can be banned. So think about like Ian's got all these links to all these videos with Rock Island auctions where he's like, I'm at Rock Island looking at this gun. Is like, that gun's for sale, by the way.
Yeah, and
those
he
He
counts.
got, he got,
surrounded by
no. He
not
got,
linking.
wait, no, I guess he still hosts. I mean, he still displays things at the auction. He got rid of the links to the auctions years ago, but
Yeah,
you're right.
because
He
YouTube
is,
changed that policy.
facilitating-
But
Is he facilitating in the video? Because that's something that can result in a strike. They're not doing it
Yeah.
right now. Like they're not actually
Well,
enforcing it to the
and
letter of the law that
TFB
they have.
TV does gun giveaways, and they talk about the fact that they do the giveaways in their videos. And I think they link to a place to sign up for the giveaway in their comments section.
The other thing-
something like that.
The other thing I find funny is it's just like they're not specific about guns when they talk about regulated products. They say like anything that is regulated, this can apply to. And I'm like, you know what's regulated? Literally everything on the market.
Mhm.
Can't show
there
putting
are-
a muffler on your car. You're silencing your car.
Well, like can of Coke. There are regulations that say how much sugar that they can put in this, that no cocaine can go in it. You know, the allowable amount of rat parts. All of these things are, you know, heavily regulated because literally everything on the market is regulated to the nines, right? So, you know, I'm sure this leather glue has got some sort of regulations that apply to it, right? You know, can't contain more than X much lead in case some kid decides to, you know, drink it. Everything is regulated. So, like, what is the delineation there? It's annoying.
Yeah. But so my theory, like what I'd like YouTube to do is actually enforce those TOC, their terms of service as they have them written. Stop boiling the frog, do it properly. We'll move somewhere else. Everyone will be happier. They don't have
I
to
mean, the
deal
thing
with
is,
GunTubers.
they would just have to ban not just the GunTube channels, but like so much stuff.
It's fine
Well,
by me.
and just remember that if you're a major media corporation who pays YouTube to be there, then the TOS doesn't apply to you. You know, you can go and show violence and all of that kind of stuff and
Oh, that's
vulgarity
an
and gore and whatever on CNN's videos on YouTube. But God forbid that, you know, Philip DeFranco wants to do any of that.
yeah, that ticks me off because
Oh.
I've had like not strikes, but like, you know, adult flagging where it's just like, okay, your video is like too spicy for YouTube.
Oh yeah, age restricted. Age restricted. Yeah.
Yeah. And age restricted. Once a video goes age restricted, you can watch it just plateau.
Oh, yeah.
And like usually things have this sort of S curve to them where they start out and like the first 30 minutes, nobody knows it's there. And then it spikes up and you get most of your views in this.
Hey, no. I've got the bell turned on for you, honey. I see you when you post.
But I mean, it takes people a moment or whatever to find your video. And then it spikes up and then it slowly sort of plateaus off with like this slow. And then every once in a while, you'll see a video get like a second spike because somebody linked it somewhere. I had one that somebody linked somewhere to say that I was an idiot. And it was great because I made like, I quite literally made like $150 from somebody calling me an idiot somewhere because I got like another like 15,000 views on this thing. And I was like,
Let's go.
okay. There were a bunch of angry comments, but it was like, yeah,
Hey,
awesome.
that's engagement. Engagement makes traffic.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it was somebody sort of popular was like, hey, this Runkle guy is being an idiot. And I was like, cool. Please call me out again, sir.
Oh shit.
But
That's where you've got to do the YouTuber beef video series. Put
Oh
out your own
yeah.
video like I got beef with this guy and just start laying it out and then hope for a response.
nah, that
No.
it's funny
Pretend
because
to
like,
have lawyer problems with another firearms related lawyer. Call out
Well-
James from TFB TV for no good reason.
I did actually do one where I commented on this.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, this pair of lawyers, and they're like, "Hey, you should not carry an IFAC," and I was like, "This is dumb. Like, carry an IFAC is useful." So
But everything will be shown in a negative light. Like if you use self-defense ammunition, that means you're willing to kill. If you're using FMJ, that means you're using military ammunition. So you're just fucked.
I mean, the thing is that's correct. Everything you do will in some way be viewed negatively by, the prosecution will try to spin it negatively.
Mhm.
So don't worry about it because after a certain point, it's like you just do what you got to do.
Or smoke crack before you shoot the person. Then you're I don't know.
I mean, there are some
Only in
things.
British Columbia.
Demonized.
There are some things that I would say don't do this because they're just a bad idea if you're trying to, like if you engrave your thing with like, I want to, I kill burglars or something on the side of your gun. That's not going to be great if you're in a self-defense case.
Like you're fucked. I remember that. You're fucked.
Oh, on the
That
side
one
of
I
the
would
cop's
say-
AR.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of that stuff, I might be like, yeah, you get no benefit from that engraving and it might harm you, right? Okay, sure. That's a reasonable thing to consider, right? But like, I think the prosecution trying to go after you for carrying a first aid kit is really going to be like dunking on themselves there. It's like, oh, you just wanted to shoot somebody to use your first aid kit to not kill them. Really goes against their usual narrative. And I typically say, like, if you shoot somebody, the thing I most want the police to find you doing is applying first aid. Like because at that point, like did you intend to kill them? No. Was it because you were angry? no, you're sitting there, and sure, somebody could say, oh, you're trying to do this because you feel guilty and you want to save them. You're like, or I just never actually wanted them to die in the first place. It was just an unfortunate. So,
Just wanted to play doctor. Just seen so many doctors on TV. Just wanted a chance to try it all out.
No, you in Canada at least, you were playing the doctor when you shot them.
Sorry, sir. You seem depressed. I'm
Maid?
administering maid.
Mate, yeah. Oh, right.
just some free roaming mate or maid. We're just
It's
know-
it's a mobile mate.
we're just kind of cutting out the middleman on this one.
We're
Oh,
getting
that's-
this is getting shut the fuck down so fast. I love
Yeah,
it.
I was like, we're getting struck.
We're getting
Oh,
shut
yeah.
down for practicing medicine without a license.
Oh, wait, no. All the essential oil is still up on YouTube, so no, we're not getting shut down for that.
Oh,
Hey, this liquid can save you because it was another liquid at another point. I'm not even gonna go down that route. Anyways, guns.
It's not even whiskey.
It's mead that's there better.
I mean, you're gonna have the RCMP coming to your door now
Why?
because they're gonna be like, that looks like a suppressor.
Oh, it's not. There.
It is a linear. Officially, it's a linear compensator according to True
It's
North
not.
Arms.
I would call it a barrel weight. Yes, it's memeing to another level. Adriel, have you done? Wait, no. Crazy, have you done gun stuff? I mean, Ian, are you done doing gun thing talk?
Yeah, I kind of ramble because attention deficit. So I will pass the I'll pass the conch to the next person over.
Crazy. Did you gun in the last 2 months?
I did go to the range with a buddy of mine. I've still been too lazy to send my red dot back to Bushnell, but I finally did print off the warranty for him. I just need to actually bother to put it in the box with they want you to put a $10 check for return postage because they force you to pay for return postage. Fantastic. Thank you, Bushnell. They don't take drop-offs at their warranty location anymore because it's like a 20-minute drive from here, but they apparently don't let you just drive up and leave it there anymore. So that's unfortunate. My P226 22 kit, when I brought it out in wintry weather, was not behaving, so I need to clean it, and I've been too lazy to do that. I got a new 22. It's the second last pistol that I bought before Trudeau fucked us. So I got the Norinco Olympia TT from Marstar with a spare mag.
Oh, nice. Show it up.
Cleaned the Cosmoline off the surface of it just so I can throw it in my gun safe. And I've been too lazy to go and actually take it apart to clean it properly to go to the range with it. And too lazy to drive the 2 and a something hours to the fucking range. I might do that this weekend. Sunday's supposed to be 5 degrees. So might go down to the range for that. I need to go to the range anyways to renew my membership. Still waiting for one more pistol. Still waiting on the 22 Bursa. And that will be the last one, which given the original timelines people were estimating for getting these transfers in, this transfer for this 22 Bursa is going to be a year ahead of schedule because the initial estimates for transfers in Ontario were that it was going to take until 2024 to get them all sorted. Woo. So consider the fact that I bought this Bursa August 21st and I still don't have it. Yeah, it's a fairly fucking long time in and of itself. The longest time, obviously, that I've ever had to fucking wait for a transfer. But the fact that it's also still a year ahead of schedule.
So here's a fun thing. Because of the amount of chaos involved with panic buying firearms before they banned them, I ended up buying 2 different CZ Shadow 2s because I bought one.
Nice move.
I can relate. It's like, hey, I'm gonna get a gun. You know what's better than maybe having only one of them?
Well, I intentionally bought 2 what is it? Colt, like, or the Pieta replica of the
Yeah.
Colt single action army. Because I was like, if I want to do cowboy action shooting, you got to have two.
Oh, fuck,
Um,
you're right.
So I bought two of those, and it's also the same gun that Baldwin was using on the set to, what's the language people are using? Unalive, Helena Hutchins. So I was,
broke some of the Colonel Cooper's rules. Probably rule number 1 at least.
yeah.
The Baldwin
Yeah,
rule.
The Baldwin rule is so. Anyway, I started blasting, but yeah. So I intentionally bought two of those. But when the second Sea's Edge Shadow came in, I was like, "Huh,
All right.
I guess I'm an idiot."
No. It's all good. It's all good. You know.
No, now you could go and shoot a dipstick stage twice as fast.
You have a backup.
You can do the
if you ever
pirate
blow
reload.
up
It's
a
like,
gun.
why reload this gun? I'm just gonna go out and get another gun.
I mean, some shooting competitions do allow you to carry a backup present. So having a backup
Shadows.
that's exactly the same as what you were just running is not a bad thing.
It's an excellent thing if you actually want to shoot over the next like 20, 30 years. Having a duplicate of your competition gun is excellent. Most people don't have it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I mean, my like my 226, if that fails, I just can't replace it. That's sad,
Yeah,
right? So
you have two shadows. You have two better handguns. You're good to go.
I like the 226, but I haven't actually taken the shadows out yet.
Oh,
My shadow shoots better than my 226, but I actually prefer the 226.
I mean, what I'm probably gonna do is go out, set up some like paper plates on the handgun in that handgun bay, and just see like how well do I do engaging those paper plates, especially like moving like 2 shots on this plate, 2 shots on that plate, going transitioning around. Because I mean that's gonna be the test. But the
Does your
the
range have
226
a
is
plate rack?
I'm just thinking like the wooden boards. I'll just staple some paper plates to them.
Because
So-
I'm just thinking like a steel plate rack, given that you get the feedback from it.
I know
No.
exactly what you're talking about because I just did that, and I'm gonna make your story shorter, Ian. You're gonna go with the shadow.
Fair. I'm actually kind of debating trying to buy like a plate rack and then trying to convince the range to put it up there, like one of those like dueling trees or the like.
Why don't we just do a skills and drills for a 3-gun one of these nights? We'll just say, hey, can we take the 25-meter bay for a Wednesday night or something like that? Maybe when the sun's up a little bit later.
Do you guys have a dueling tree like that flips them back and forth?
Yeah, we have two of
Dueling
them
trees are so much fun. I
at
fucking
Chaz.
love those
Yeah.
things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll pull them out. We've done it before for skills and drills.
Because that would be good times, and that way I can sort of try to determine which one I actually like better. So
Yeah.
I already told you it's gonna be the shadow.
My range has a 5-plate rack on the 10-meter, and so that's nice to go over and just shoot that and back and forth, and then one in the smallest plate as
Yep.
like a drill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you anything else crazy?
Not really gun related. I bought a new tank for my motorcycle that is not the same color as my existing tank because the bike is 9 years older than I am.
how does a
Yeah,
motorcycle even
basically-
drive a tank?
Ah.
I got a Kettenkrat. Don't I wish? That would be amazing. But yeah, no. So basically, all my money is going into the bike right now to get it into a state of functionality because it's a super smart, fantastic financial decision to buy the cheapest motorcycle you can find on Kijiji. Definitely recommend it. Don't go and just spend the money you would have spent repairing that bike and buy a bike that's already in a functional state of operation. No, definitely get the $1,000 one that needs way too much work that you're not going to be able to ride because it's leaking gas and fucked up, and no, yeah, definitely get that one, and not the one that's sorted and newer and
I mean-
maybe not carbureted.
I'm pretty sure everybody in Slack told you not to, but you still did it anyways.
No, you told me not to. The other two in Slack are both bike heads and said, "Nah, man, fucking go for it."
Right. Fucking nerds.
Mistake.
That's the thing you get. You get a biker. Should I buy this? Yeah, man, fucking go for it. I mean, my buddy's stepdad, like, I was messaging my buddy. I'm like, should I go look at this thing or whatever? And he's like, or should I like save money, be financially responsible, wait till the spring? And he's like, my stepdad here says, fucking, it'll make you happy, so go buy it. And I'm like, fuck it. Let's be financially irresponsible. And oh boy, was I.
One of my clients found a bike. Like literally, it was in the forest, and so this thing has been reassembled because he's got some technical acumen apparently. But like when you actually see this bike, because the cops took pictures of it when they charged him with something when they found him on it. This bike is like assembled. Like there is bits of wire that are just like used to hold things in place. Some of the tubing is like folded over plastic to make a tube that's been like heat sealed. It's just like, how does this thing run and not explode? And it's just the guy's got no money, so when the bike breaks down, he like steals stuff out of a dump and like gets it back going.
Nice.
I mean,
I'm
you gotta
kind of
give him
impressed.
brownie points for trying, right?
I'm kind of impressed. I actually think it's a really cool bike at the end of the day, because it's like, who else has a bike that's cobbled together with like
that you found in the forest? It's just the whole thing.
I'm sure it looks like something you'd see in Rust.
No, Mad Max, bro, Mad Max. By the way,
that's
if you've
it
been
for
watching the news, this is my second drink, and therefore the limit for the week now, according to Health Canada, you can only have 2 drinks a week.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
so there you go. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew I was kidding.
I mean, my response to that is typically to just sing the humors of whiskey, because they can go fuck themselves.
15 doubles for
the price of one. Let your quacks and newspapers be caught in their capers about curing the vapors.
Does YouTube have anything about drinking and handling guns?
We're not streaming to YouTube right now, just Facebook and Odyssey. I don't think Odyssey gives a fuck what we do on the stream.
You know what I think? If you take a big drink with your mouth to the brink of a jug of poutine. Anyways, that's it for me and guns. What about you, Adriel? What about you?
How long has it been since our last show?
Like 2 months.
No idea.
2 months. I got some Carcanos. So Marstar had a sale on for $250. So I bought like 4.
Nice.
And I kind of want to buy some more.
Nice spaghetti guns. How you like the spaghetti guns?
They're so cool. I like it. I like the clip action on them. The bolt action is rough. It's grindy on them. But the actual like clip feed mechanism is sweet. They're nice and short and handy. The only thing I don't like is that their sighting solution. So their 6.5 Carcano was a 160 something, 168, 165 grain bullet, big fat bullet, slow. They zeroed these things, and this is a short barrel gun. They zeroed them for like 300-400 yards. So they shoot really high. They like massively high. And one of the things you're supposed to do on one of the sighting solutions is to just put the tip of the front sight like in the valley of the back sight, and it still shoots high. So I don't really like them for that aspect. So what I've done, I just did this kind of before the show, is I have built up that front sight with some putty, JB Weld putty. Now I'm going to sand this down. It looks like ugly right now because I'm not going to form it. I'm not like a clay modeling expert or anything like that, but I'll file this down to where I like the size of it. And
I like it. I love it. I fucking love it. I am so impressed right now.
When I don't want it on there anymore, beep, hit it with a hammer, off it comes, and I sell this thing for, whatever it's worth at the time.
So Marstar putting those on sale is the opposite direction of where I want the value of them to go.
it'll go up. Like
Brother, remember K31s were $200.
K31s, SKSs, Mosins. Yeah, they all go up. As soon as they run out, then all of a sudden people want them, and that's when the price goes up. So
Yeah.
these are spin stabilizing the commercial 6.5 Creed 6.5 ammo. So like I assume that if the bullet won't engage the lands, then I'm going to see keyholing because the bullet's not going to be stabilized, right?
Yeah.
They look fine. They're punching round holes.
So
So,
Which is
they
good
don't
because
need
I
any-
do
they-
know
they
they're
don't need any-
slightly undersized for the commercial stuff.
but they're running them just fine.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't care. I'm gonna look for the like 168 grain bullets just so I have the correct ones. But they're really handy guns. They're like so short. They're like I really like them.
They
not
don't
as
use
much as like
Spencer
an
bullets, right? They use round nose bullets.
The original ones used a big fat round nose bullet. A
love those
168
things.
grain 6.5. It's like it's stupid. So stupid.
It's
They
like-
should have
it-
went with Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a pencil. Like it looks like a pencil end. Like with
for
the eraser.
what? Why didn't they go with like a 130 grain or something? Like
That's German technology. They ain't Germans.
yeah.
No, I mean you look at like 6.5 Japanese, and it's the same kind of thing. Big, long fucking
Yeah.
cartridge with a really round bullet on it.
It's like maybe those old bullets wouldn't run like high speeds. They would just like fall apart. The jackets were new. Maybe the powder didn't do it. Whatever. Anyways, cool gun. It'll be cooler when I can run a light bullet with the regular size height and actually shoot something that's close up. Crazy mentioned this, but since I'm streaming to Odyssey, I kind of wanted to show some of the Americans some of the stuff we've got here. There's a Norinco Olympia. Crazy's got one too. And it's a 22 target pistol that the Chinese made that copies the Walther Olympia, the Jaeger version specifically. Their Olympia had a longer barrel on it. This is the Hunter version, which we can't hunt with in Canada. But
How rough do your mags go into that thing? Because mine, you really gotta smack them
it's
to get them
terrible.
in.
Oh, it's terrible. This isn't actually the factory mag. This is a
Oh, yeah,
Smith
you
and
mentioned
Wesson
that, yeah.
Model 41 mag that I ground a little hole in there, and now it just goes in. So
Does it hold open as well?
no, the that part isn't at the same spot, but I don't really care. And since the Americans are on, I'll show another Chinese pistol. This is the CF98.
Oh my.
That was the one I didn't end up buying from you.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a very small grip on it. I was hoping to sell this to my auntie, but she didn't get her ARPAL in time, so tough
Womp
luck.
womp.
Womp womp. It's got a nice small grip on it. It's a DA SA style, and it's got a rotating barrel instead of a tilting barrel, which is kind of neat on it.
How much travel does the trigger on yours have after it breaks? Because I saw one of these at the store once, and it had a good bit of travel after the break. Yeah,
much?
okay, it does. Yeah,
That's not bad. That's not bad. It's a combat pistol. I don't care. That's fine.
it was a
Yeah.
very weird thing for me because I'm used to triggers usually hit the wall on them, so having a bit of extra past that was just weird.
Nice triggers maybe, but not this one. Kind of like a little carrier in there, little rotating barrel, and kind of like your SIGs, your P320s. It's got an internal chassis, if you will, like a metal chassis on a polymer lower. That'll kind of like you can pull it right out. So kind of neat there.
Well,
Now,
also the manual
does-
says that
does-
it's good for 5,000 rounds because of the spicy Chinese chambering.
Which I don't know if that's true or not. The Chinese barrels on these, they run a 5.56 size, their own proprietary cartridge, but
Isn't
it's
it
a
like
much
a
smaller
350?
bullet.
It's like a 357 SIG knockoff.
Something like that. Yeah. And they said that the barrels don't handle it, but
Did
What's that,
yours
Crazy?
come with pin 20 rounders, or did it come with I think they have a single stack 10 that they started selling on some generations?
That looks singles.
Okay, that's
15.
So it's 15. So it is double
15.
stack. Sorry, I think now I remember that's single feed on the top there though.
the original
double
ones were
feed, yeah.
double feed on the top. This one tapers down to a single like everything else does now. That
what I
was cool though.
because the originals were 20 round double stack double feed.
Yeah,
And that's just
Ian
not
on
seen in
Forgotten
pistol.
Weapons. That's the one that he shows. Is it's got that. His also just has like a basic steel lip on the magazine instead of this bumper like this. This actually gives quite a bit more space for your fingers to
Yep. Now,
grab onto.
do you
So,
know if those kinds of mags are cross compatible between like
I
different
don't know.
versions of the pistol?
Haven't seen them. I'd need to get access to some of those mags or find someone that's got one of these things.
Hmm.
Sites are just dog shit on these. They're just the fucking worst. I don't know.
Take some
Hey,
nice
you
bright
should
nail
get that
polish
milled
and
for a dot. Get it milled for a dot.
I
put
hate
only the most
dots.
fantastic Chinese hollow sun on it.
Oh,
I
you
hate
and I can
dots.
bond over our hatred for red dots.
Yeah, no, I hate them on. I've got too many thousands of rounds on regular iron sights for pistols, so I can't do the dot thing. It's just this doesn't feel good.
I've got when I got the Canic, I bought it specifically to put a red dot on it.
Mm.
And now that I've done that, I'm like, okay, pretty much everything I get from now on is going to have a red dot on it if I can. Like the Glock frames that I've got, when I'm buying a slide for them, I'm getting a slide that's got a red dot cut for every caliber that I'm planning on building. Because that's the great thing is I've got the large size and it can be 10 mil or 45. I've got the polymer 80 G17 frame. Well, that can be in 9 mil, 40, 357 SIG, 45 gap. So
45 gap.
You didn't have to include that.
I didn't have to include it, but I'll be the only person at the range with a gun in 45 gap.
Good luck finding ammo, Hoss.
Yeah, I don't know why I want to be the only person at the range with a gun in 45 gap, but I can be.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else I've done recently.
Hey, what's that white gun on the wall? What's that?
It's an AR.
Oh, you put it together again.
Put them together again.
Hey, Ian, you can go shoot that because the Alberta government says they can't prosecute him, right?
Yeah, you have no idea how many emails I got about that.
The people on my fucking subreddit too, who are like, "I'm gonna go shoot my AR again because Alberta." It's like,
we've pulled probably a half a dozen posts saying, "It's like, so you guys out there shooting ARs in the bush? How you doing now in Alberta?" We're like, no.
Everything's legal if the cops aren't there, and you don't post about it on social media afterwards either.
We've banned people for saying those exact same words.
Even then, like such a bad idea.
Screaming to Odyssey right now, so you can't ban me for nothing.
Oh yeah, it's just so bad.
I guess that's the thing that happened, right? The Alberta government said that they were gonna ask prosecutors not to prosecute things on the C-21.
Listen, if you want to not get prosecuted for shooting your AR, you've got to be a cop.
Oh, right. And don't forget, take your wife and kids out for some RCMP sponsored training.
Yeah, the RCMP apparently told the court, like, put in the report that part of their duties include training, so therefore this was included. So I had a fun conversation.
Also, go take your buddy's guns, even though you don't actually hold a license. Just take them.
This poor guy at RCMP Media Relations is like, why is this guy asking me if he can go shooting with an RCMP member? And I'm sure he got off the phone and was like, I just had the weirdest conversation with the biggest idiot. So,
wow. You're only repeating what they said first.
Yeah. It's
I mean, with the pistols the RCMP have, they need all the practice they can get. I've shot them all the time. They're double action only. Some Smith & Wesson thing. They are atrocious.
Oh, what is it? 5907?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's got a 4-inch barrel on it.
They
did deliberately so that they could never surplus them in Canada.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
They also intentionally have like the heaviest trigger pull you can get.
It's got a decop,
12-pound double. No, it's double action only.
Oh, okay. Well, so it does have a safety.
Yeah, the reason why is basically to reduce accidental pops. They want it to be like, if you pulled the trigger, it's because you meant to.
That's cop.
They did the New York thing of, instead of train the cops better when they got off revolvers, they just told the manufacturer to give us the heaviest trigger you can, and so the cops are dog shit at shooting.
So they
Well-
give them a stock M&P trigger.
There was actually one where so this cop fires off something like he mag dumps, like he fires every round on this random guy and hits 0 times. And I'm like, you're going to want to get the scene pictures for that one.
So
'Cause-
there was another one I heard of in New York in particular, where the New York Glock trigger is infamous. There was a guy who shot someone outside of the Empire State Building, and the cops showed up and mag dumped at him, and the cops managed to hit like 3 bystanders in the process.
This one, no bystanders, but you can actually. So when you see the shots, it's like first shot right by the cop's foot, second shot like 6 inches forward, and then they just keep spacing out into this line that goes past, like not at where the guy was sitting, but misses him. And it was basically just the officer draws his gun, and as soon as the trigger is free, is hammering that trigger and basically rocket powering his arm up.
Oh god.
And I'm just like, there's a guy who could have, like, maybe it would have helped if he'd done like some 3-gun.
But remember,
You know-
only the police and military should have guns.
Oh, I mean, we're just lucky there was no one else around, and that there was like
or
big.
or any fire halls.
I mean, they are pretty good at hitting a fire hall.
They are.
They're,
Just-
that's about their level of accuracy.
just-
They can
just
shoot minute of fire hall.
Find a fire hall and just fucking nail the fuck out of it.
It's like, we saw some guys around the fire hall wearing what looks like fire gear. We've had a report of a guy dressed up like a cop, so let's just unload on this fire hall.
Then
Meanwhile,
get
the
back in the
firefighters
car
were-
and just drive away. Just get
Yeah,
back in
The
and
fact that
go.
no one faced any repercussions for that is disgusting.
Oh, I
well,
mean,
you know,
lots of
you know,
people faced repercussions. I did. Adriel did.
Yeah, I did.
Grover did.
Yeah.
You did.
Well,
I did.
no one who should have faced repercussions faced any repercussions.
For
Yeah.
the American viewers, there was a shooting out east, and the cops and government's response was to ban the AR-15. We're just gonna leave it at that, or else we're gonna be here for another half an hour. Hey, how about guns?
Half an hour.
It's like, I can rant about this all day.
I could rant about this all day. I have to physically stop myself from ranting about this in class anytime somebody asks me, so how about that AR-15? I'm like,
Boy, you don't know. You
Oh,
I don't. Well, as an instructor, I don't have opinions. I just have sound bites from the government. So the ban is about stopping crime.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Didn't the RCMP
Though-
threaten that they will go and revoke your instructor's license if you dare say anything negative
Well,
about them?
it's
or the
not that
government?
serious. It's just as delivery staff, which I think is the best way I can put that. We don't have opinions. We just deliver the material. So the bans are about stopping crime.
I mean, they shouldn't have opinions about the bans and their reasons either in the course
Hey,
of that.
wait a minute. We gotta reform the bail system, says the cops.
Yeah.
No, don't get triggered. Be quiet.
Oh.
Anyways, about guns.
Yeah, the guy who was at warrant status because the cops just couldn't be bothered to go pick him up. It's like, oh yeah, the problem is the bail system. It's like, or you could have arrested him at any time.
When they're asked to present evidence, they don't. They just don't.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean, most of the people in Toronto going and committing the shootings are known to police in some way, shape, or form.
Wait. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that they already have firearm bans. Anyways, guns.
I mean, the vast majority of criminals I see using firearms in, like, various criminal enterprises are like, yeah, this is my 6th firearm prohibition. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is working real well, folks.
You know what works real well? I finally found something for this stupid fake can. This thing. This is the Versa 380cc. And I finally found something to put the stupid can on because I was initially going to put it on the Ruger PCC charger. But I want to keep it small. I want to keep it small. The whole point of the sub gun is for it to be small. Okay. I wanted to put this on the Versa Thunder for those James Bond vibes, but the barrel is so fucking skinny, it has no shoulder for the crush washer to sit against. But this guy has enough of a shoulder for a crush washer, so I am going to refund this at some point, and just so I can get demonetized, one time again, here comes a fake can off the gun. And another time again, so we can get demonetized. Oh, sorry, striked. And bam.
Remember to the YouTube reviewers that is not a suppressor because suppressors are illegal in Canada.
That's just literally a barrel weight. That's what I'm going to call it. More guns. More guns. The next thing that I did was I had to figure out what I was going to put on the Versa Thunder. So I wasn't going to put on anything like that can because it doesn't have a shoulder. But I found something that kind of works with it.
Oh my fucking god! You put a SBI hex brake on a 380 fucking pistol.
Oh, is that a 9mm one too? The bore looks big.
Yeah, and you know how Tristan makes these? He just takes the 223 and throws these on a lathe and just bores the fuck out of the hole.
Yeah, I don't think they have that on their website anymore.
They don't. He literally made these because I kept testing him about it, and he's like, "Okay, fuck it. I have some really bad ones that I threw on the lathe. Do you want one for like $40?" And I was like, "Yeah." So there it is. Like the hole isn't super concentric. So
that is what
yeah.
I would put on the charger because I mean I got one of those on my PC Carbine.
Like this was on the charger, but I just don't see the point of it. Like 9mm doesn't have enough stank and pressure to actually do something with a brake. So I took it off it. And then what I found out is it's really hard to see, but I will try to show it. Basically, anyways, there is area, there's space around the threading so that this literally kind of goes over the barrel. And because this has a rubber O-ring, it actually sits nestled between the barely there shoulder of the barrel and that inner diameter that is external to the actual brake. And this actually is on there pretty good. So yeah, this is only held in place by a rubber O-ring, but cycling it, that thing doesn't move. Like with the fake can, the brake would start to walk. I mean, the fake can would start to rotate itself loose. So this maybe will help because this one is snappier than the 380cc I've found.
I wonder
It is
how
quite
the
snappy, yeah.
concussion is off that. Have you tried shooting it yet?
No, I literally put this together like yesterday. No, like last week.
It looks amazing. You have to keep it like that.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, you say that 9mm got no whatever to make it worth it. I mean, the thing with it is, yes, I put the brake on it though because when I looked up the rules for PCC division and IDPA, you can modify the fuck out of your gun in whatever way you want.
Oh, I already.
And so when you're shooting it in a competition, you want every advantage that you can possibly get. And that includes a muzzle brake that makes the thing recoil like a 22.
I would agree with you, except for the fact that this is straight blowback 9mm sub gun. So it's got all the mass on the bolt, like all of it. So every time it recoils, it just goes ka-thunk. So it really, I found the brake to do nothing, honestly.
So then get a loudener. Get that one from whoever the fuck it was. It just makes the gun like louder and more obnoxious, and throw that on there.
You mean like one of these?
I don't. Yeah. Isn't that just a linear?
It is just a linear compensator because the loudener is out of stock and they don't ship to Canada. So yeah, I just got a linear comp on it. This gives me a little more room in front of here so that I don't shoot my hand off. It keeps gases pointed in that direction instead of out, so my knuckle hairs don't get singed if my hand goes in a fucking weird spot. And I've been trying to see if I want to shoot it like this. If I want to shoot it like this more, because I found that wrapping my hand around there isn't as nice as just kind of going like this. So yeah, that was an upgrade. Then I fucked around some more with this. So this before had the Midwest Industries side folder extruded stock. I wasn't a fan of it. The surface area was rather short and thin. And I am going to sound like the biggest wimp in the world. It bruised. It bruised me because of 9mm blowback bolts just smacking into the back of that receiver. Okay? It was basically like shooting with a blade. Okay? So
what you're saying, it was like those old 858 folding stocks.
Exactly. Okay. I don't care if it's got this is a chunky gun. Like this is like the Charger in the States is known for being like the chunkiest of PCCs. But even then, just that thin blade, it would fuck it up. It would fuck up my shoulder. Okay. And I'm getting proper shouldering on. Like it was on my shoulder. So I decided to continue drinking the Kool-Aid from Midwest Industries, and I got the buffer tube folding adapter. Put a buffer tube on it, put a Macville MOE stock on it, and called it a day. That had the added benefit of dropping the comb even more on this gun.
Is that an MOE or a CTR?
It's an MOE. Sorry, it's a CTR. Yeah, it's a CTR. Okay. That has the added benefit of dropping the comb even more, which lets me put in an even lower optic on this and keep the weight even further down. And for Boxing Day, Iron Guns had these Vortex Venom dots for like $150 US. So I got one of these, and now it's got the smallest of optics, and it is just so fucking nice. I gave this to my buddy who shoots a regular length Ruger PCC in the chassis model, and he's like, dude, that is the fucking sickest thing ever. It's just so small and so pointable. So yeah, I'm thinking about switching to this kind of.
We need to get Trudeau gone so I can buy one of these.
Oh,
I didn't have the money at the time.
You can spend absurd amounts of money with ETRS and get a restricted barrel.
Oh right, and then just modify my existing one.
Exactly.
With it. Yeah,
exactly. And like the barrels are just stupid money.
And Ian, I can totally just take my non-restricted barrel off and then put the restricted barrel on at the range and never have to tell the RCMP about it, right? It's not like you have a whole video about that. This.
It's not like he has a video about that exact situation.
Yeah, it's not like you've already covered that.
Hey,
so I'd have to go get the gun, but this thing, I'm kind of thinking. So I bought this from this guy. And now I can't sell it because, of course, so, and if you're wondering, like, is it actually that long? Like, when you see the cutout, it is straight up that long. So I'm thinking I need to take this thing and get it cut for a suppressor.
Fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
And then
Thread the barrel.
Then just have a fake can added to that thing, so it could just be. But I also want to make a holster for it that'll just be like and it'll just keep going. It'll be like some sort of
Jim Carrey.
It'll be like some sort of Christmas stocking.
Carrey, you're thinking
that was The Mask, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't Mask. That
was Joker, I think.
Batman, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
I thought there was also Jim Carrey in The Mask did that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe you're right. Yeah.
But I mean, that would just be hilarious.
Need to do
this
that.
holster that like goes down to my ankle.
Big iron on his head.
Big iron on his head.
Yeah, and the best part is it's 22.
Oh, see if you can find the 22 WMR cylinder because they sell.
Oh, I actually think I ordered one. I think I've got it sitting in the other room. So
what else did I do? So yeah, I went shooting and I wanted to see which one of the Jerichos was better. So I got the Jericho R out there. I also got so many guns. the Jericho F, and I also brought the CZ 75 Preview, and I brought the Shadow out. So it was the battle of the 75 pattern guns. And obviously the Shadow won, so I'm just going to cut that short in terms of that. But something funny happened. So I've got shitloads of 75 mags. I've got Preview mags that only fit the Preview gun. I've got Shadow 2 mags that have the big fat base plate. I've got Meggar Shadow mags that have the dimples on them with the blue follower. And I've got a couple of Jericho mags. Obviously, the Jericho mags should work in Jericho guns. And they, in fact, do. But...
And demonetized.
Oh!
No, it's not 30 rounds.
Oh, wait.
YouTube can't tell the difference. Those could be like 17 HMR.
Well, okay. So, yeah, the Jericho mags obviously work in the Jerichos. The Jericho mags sometimes work on the Shadows. More guns. Yeah, how many guns did you...
That's the interesting thing, though, is when you find a CZ like mag, it advertises it's for the CZ and Jericho series.
No.
Yes,
most 75 mags say C75, Shadow 2, if they bother. Sometimes they just say CZ75.
Most of the ones I've seen from like Meggar advertise they're for CZs and Jerichos.
No, I will tell you, no.
This needs to be settled with combat.
Oh, that reminds me of...
I combated the fuck out of some steel plates. So what ended up happening was I tried all the other mags in the Jerichos, and I think it was with this R model. I think it's got maybe a weak spring in the mag retention, because after a couple of shots, the magazine shits at the bottom. Just bam, bam, falls out. Not with the F model, not with my buddy's F model single action only chrome one. It's just the fucking weirdest thing. Just between R and F and chrome and non-chrome, single action only, double action, or single action. There's just enough variability between all of these guns that, yeah, some magazines stay in there, some magazines don't. That's why when somebody was selling one of these guys for $65 shipped, I bought a single Jericho mag. So now I have 3 Jericho mags. I get 2 more of those, and I'll feel comfortable competing with one of the Jerichos if I still want to.
So you with mentioning the mags reminds me of something that I found out when I was out shooting with my buddy. I had brought my SIG 226 out and my Canic TP9, and we had the various mags of them around. They're both in 9mm. My buddy loads up a mag, goes and shoots it in the Canic, and then it doesn't activate the last shot hold open. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And then the mag doesn't really drop free too much. I'm like, that's also kind of weird. And I look at it. My buddy had loaded a P226 mag and shoved it up in the Canic, and it fit. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I never expected this. And he's like, dude, this is like that one video where the guy's got the Glock and the P320, and then just, trust me, it'll work. Fires the thing. I'm like, holy shit. I tried again, like later, to deliberately load a P226 mag, and then it started having feeding issues. So it was just a fluke thing, though, that he got through a whole mag out of the Canic on a P226 mag in it. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, that's hilarious. Because I know the Canic, it's kind of based-ish on a P99 Walther, but the grip's a lot longer, so P99 mags don't fit in it, and its mags don't really fit in a P99 either. And I tried the Canic mags in the SIG, and they don't engage the mag catch. They'll just fall out the gun. Like, they don't actually catch on it. But the P226 mags catch on the Canic's mag catch, and they will stay in the gun. So that was hilarious.
Yeah. So I need more mags for the Jerichos. Another thing that I was doing is I just took a bunch of pistols out to just see what shoots best. So I had plates, and I grabbed
CZ Shadow.
Yeah, That's basically it. Okay, so Jericho's, they were like, "Ooh, got to hold a little low, got to hold a little high." Okay, the 380s was basically hilarious to try to fucking hit anything with those things, because this is a straight blow. This is a this is a straight blowback gun. So I found it funny. The polymer one, I think, shoots better. It's less snappy than this.
Weird.
This is
I
aluminum.
mean, when you consider that one was designed to basically just knock off a Walther PPK, and the PPK is known to be a very snappy gun,
Yeah,
the new
exactly.
one was a brand new design. They would have designed it to be less snappy.
Yeah, so this one was snappier. Hopefully the muscle brake helps the recoil now. Then I moved on to the Glock, and I was hitting okay with it. Glock 17 Gen 4 bone stock, except the upgraded tritium sights. And then I said to myself, okay, it's time. Let's see what the red dot does. And I was having a hard time hitting plates with all the other ones with iron sights. This one was better. I'll say that. It was better. I was watching a video of an instructor that literally the only thing he instructs is how to shoot pistols with red dots. And he said, shadows with a red dot, no problem. SIGs with a red dot, no problem. Berettas with a red dot, no problem. Smiths with a red dot, no problem. There is something about the Glock, though. Something about the Glock grip angle that when you present that, you end up fishing for the dot. Now, with all the other ones, he said that this wasn't as big of an issue. People eventually just get the hang of it. They present. When they present, they see the dot. And just now, when I'm doing this, I am getting a little bit better at it. But I did notice that when I first started using this, I was going, how in the fuck does anyone actually use these stupid fucking things? And every time that I would draw, I'd be like, okay, bring it down. Oh, there's the dot. Okay. It was just something about the grip angle of the Glock that made presentation with a red dot hard. And the guy's recommendation is just fucking practice. Just sit there, draw.
Yep.
Draw.
I mean, that's what I did with mechanic to get used to it, is just up and practice.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
So the result was I was hitting the rack better with this. And then this was all moot because this thing was just fucking smoking them.
Now imagine you put a red dot on that.
Ooh, no, fuck no. Although Wolverine Supplies did bring in extra slides for these about 2 years ago, and I'm kicking myself for not buying one because why not? Just get another slide, mill it, throw a dot on it, forget about it. Now, good luck finding that, right? This holster came with the Glock 17. And Adriel, please enlighten me. How exactly do you remove a gun from this holster? I'll tell you, this does have retention.
I already know. It's a twist and rotate.
This is an Uncle Mike's, what the fuck is this called? Reflex holster. Okay. This thing is advertised as being some kind of, I think, cop holster for, you have to know how to take the gun out for it to work. Like, there's not a button, there's nothing to pull. This gun doesn't come out unless you grip it, and let's see if I can show this. You rotate the grip in, and the gun comes out.
Oh.
Okay? So that's a thing. It also fits the Polymer 80. So I do have that. I hate this thing. So I ordered something off of Canadian Gun Nuts. Let's see what I got. Hey, look at that. The first thing I grabbed. Blade Tech holster for the Glock 17. So
most of my holsters are Blade Techs. Actually, I think almost all of my holsters are Blade Techs, except for my Canic.
Hey, I'm going to have to fucking cinch that down because that's a little too loose. Okay? So that works. Blade Tech holster works. Let's see what happens with a Gen 3 clone gun. Oop, uh-oh. Nope.
Why don't you just use your GLS? What are you fucking around with Glock holsters for? Your GLS will run it fine, And you won't have, like, I have plenty of Glock specific holsters. I use my GLS for my Glock 34.
I sold the GLS.
Get another one.
I got it.
Go to
I
AliExpress,
also
get the AliExpress version.
got a single Glock 17 Glock Mac pouch. I got a double Glock Mac pouch. I got a single AR Mac pouch. And I got another single AR Mac pouch. Guess how much that was?
$13.95.
Better have been a good price because that's not optimal for a belt.
No, it was 120 bucks shipped.
Oh, that's a really decent price.
Yeah, that is pretty decent.
Can't fault it. That's a good price. Like, it would be better if the AR pouches were stacked. So if they were a double, just because it takes up a lot of space on your belt. Like, if you're gonna go run and gun with your pistol and your rifle, you're
it's
gonna
gonna
run
get
out of belt
busy.
space.
But I just need to get fatter, then I have more real estate around my waist.
Yeah, work on that.
Yeah,
Grab another
I
beer.
am. Trust me, I am. Probably gonna have another kid that's gonna make me fatter. So for Christmas, I ordered myself some more shot shell cards, and I got this nice little gizmo, which is a shot shell holder. So it holds 2 inside and 1 outside. This is gonna probably get it strapped to my chest, so I can just super tactically throw a bunch of shells on my gun if I run dry, because that's the problem with shotguns. As somebody was commenting in the thread on Reddit about this, what is IPSC Canada gonna do with all these bans? Are we gonna see IPSC shotgun? Well, as Adriel pointed out, if everything is limited to 5 rounds, then we're just gonna have to load a fuckload of shells, aren't we?
Well, 5 rounds of what? 5 rounds of 1 3/4 shot shells. Five of the smallest that will fit in the tube.
I'm pretty sure the
chamber
RCMP
it's
knows
made
about
for.
this bullshit, so they're gonna make it. So they're gonna put it down as something incredibly sorry, what's the word? Onerous.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Because right now it's kind of a gray area. It's like, I don't know, 5.
Yeah,
of
it's
something.
treated as 5 of the longest shell that the gun is designed for.
But has
Oh,
that
no,
been
the gun
tested
is
in court,
designed
or is
for
that just
3.5
what
inch
we
shell.
decide?
Right.
That hasn't
I
been
mean,
tested.
I guess it would come down to what is on the side
we're-
of the gun. Isn't that right, Ian? If the side of the gun says 2 3/4, 3.5 inch, then there's kind of like, oh well, what's the right one? If it just
This
says
hasn't been,
3.5,
I don't think this has been tested.
You're gonna see somebody's gonna bring a case saying, "Oh, look, we've made this novelty 1/2 inch shell. It just fits, just in the brass end of it, and that's now the size that we're going to use to measure. So you can't even fit a single 2.5 inch shell because
well,
we've
there
created
is something out there like that. Like the shorty shells is 1 inch and 3/4. So
Yeah, I mean, somebody like at the RCMP lab is gonna do something that's like made with like a cut down
cut
piece of the
shells,
copper at the
cut
end.
shells, yeah.
No, it'll just be
Hillbilly
like
slugs.
it won't even be that.
It'll
It'll
just
just
be
be
the
like
brass.
primer
Just the
plus the
brass.
brass, and like they'll shave a little bit off the brass to get it just down so that you can't fit a single 2.5 inch shell in. It'll be like that's our standards for shotgun mags.
Great. That's
You're gonna be
exactly
sitting there
what I
with
want to hear.
It's gonna be a tube mag that's like no longer than a tube of
You
lipstick
might as
or
well
something.
just work with a side by side or an over under. Yeah, but you don't have to load it too.
Yeah, exactly. That might, and that, like, we don't know what the magazine restriction is going to be. It's just going to come in via OIC sometime after C21's in, and it has the potential to fuck over IPSC shotgun, IPSC pistol, IPSC rifle, just everything.
And I mean, that's their goal, is to fuck up all the
Mhm.
competitive.
I mean, that was the title of this live stream. Like, maybe everything isn't banned yet.
Yeah, I mean, their goal, they don't like move and shoot kind of disciplines. So,
Well, it's baby killing training, right? I mean, isn't that what they mean? Isn't that what Toronto says?
That's what Police Souvient says.
Oh,
That you are doing murder practice when you go to the gun range, and that gun ranges should be outlawed because the only reason you ever go there is to practice murdering people.
I haven't heard the Liberal Party talk at all about target shooters. They just ignore it completely now.
Well, no,
it used to be that it was sport shooter and hunting. More recently, they have only ever defended on the hunting stuff. And
They
that's
have
it.
since the C21 amendments, but
Well,
when they
that's the
first
thing.
introduced
Oh,
C21,
actually,
they did say, "Oh, we're not targeting sport shooters," while they banned all the handgun sport shooters use.
Yep.
I
The
mean-
amount of people that show up to my classes going, okay, so what's the point of the RPAL now? And I go,
None. Don't bother.
not a
This is gonna
lot.
get rid of
So
Trudeau.
you can still borrow handguns. That's it. You can still borrow handguns. So if you know somebody with like 30 handguns, you can borrow some handguns. There are still restricted guns like rifles and shotguns that are restricted. You can still buy for now. Don't get ahead of yourselves.
Why?
If things improve, you'll be first in line to buy anything that becomes available to buy again. And the downer, if things get worse and suddenly they start making non-restricted shit restricted by name because they feel like it, you at least get to still keep the things. That's my restricted class. Why should you register speech?
I mean, there's a whole lot of people who, I talked to a whole bunch of people who are like, well, I'll get a handgun someday. And now, like, when they heard that the restrictions were coming in, they were like, well, I guess I'll apply now. And for most of them, it was too late at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're waiting until the announcement comes, it's too late.
On May
Yeah.
30th, May 31st, when they made the announcement, I was scheduled to go to my first 3-gun competition that weekend after that. And I literally had to withdraw because I had enough people to run a restricted only class because people were like, fuck, we got to get in now. I was like, I mean, good luck, bro. Good luck. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take your money. I'm gonna have your class.
There's some people who pulled it
Some
off.
people made it. No, some people made it, but it was fucking close.
And I mean, the problem is that there were other people who were like, okay, well, a whole bunch of people got just ripped off because they, and I don't mean by like, gun dealers or anything like that. I mean by like the CFO, because they're like, yeah, well, your application is in, so your fee is non-refundable, even though like we know you're never going to get the things you're applying for. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you sons of, because like that's so greasy when they're like, yeah, we got your money.
Can't
It's
do
like,
much
yeah.
with it, but we'll give you the license maybe in like a month or 2 or 3.
I had
Well, they
family
should've-
members that got their RPAL, did the course, but it was too late. And by the time they received their RPALs, the handguns were already frozen.
Yeah.
I'll have something to talk about that in a bit because I have 3 more guns to talk about because of course I do. Holy shit, that's a lot of guns. So, what can you do with an AR-15 now? Nothing much, but you can rip all its guts out and put it together in something like this. I'm not sure if anybody's actually seen it up close yet, but I will show it to you right now. This is a Lynx 180B, as close to an AR as you can make it, for the following reasons.
Trudeau, stop watching.
Oh my God. So what is this? This is the Lynx 180 lower, not the match one, because it doesn't have the AR safety, but it does have the AR trigger in it. It has the it has the bolt hold open on it installed. It has an OEM Kodiak upper on it because I wanted the rail to line up with an AR height handguard. Because for some stupid reason, I want iron sights to still be on the gun. Okay, I have these irons. They are very expensive. I want the irons to actually be functional without having to crank out the elevation on the front. So
Hey,
there's actually
I like it. I mean, if everything else fails, it's like, okay, down to irons now.
Yeah, exactly. Problem is, it's not because this is an 8-point Pro. So the day that this fails, I'm basically getting nuked or something worse.
We had a guy at one of the like the competitions in the US that I was at. He was running a red dot. His red dot ran out of batteries, and he's like, got no more batteries. But he was able to switch midway through the stage because his red dot stopped midway through a stage. and he was able to just be like, he had it rigged up so he could use the irons, and he
Yeah.
just switched irons. I was like, I
That
would have
Aim
just
Point
lost.
Pro, though, like that thing's battery is good for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
On the whole time.
I have the irons because EMP. Anyways, so
If somebody EMPs you while you're in a competition, I
Yeah.
feel like that's cheating.
So one thing that this upper does not like is this upgraded charging handle. It's really hard to see, but it is chewing up. Oh, let's see, you can maybe see it. It is chewing up the inside because this is threaded. It is chewing up the bottom part of the ejection port. It is also chewing up the front of the channel where the charging handle runs. But I don't care. It's Kodiak shit, so I'll just buy another cheap one if I ever come across it. Of note, though, is what's happening under the handguard. First of all, this is a normal AR height handguard. So if anybody's watching and wondering, the BCM, BMC, MCMR 13-inch is perfect in length to go right up to the gas block. But interestingly, if you know your ARs, you may be wondering, that gas block is mighty far down the barrel. This is a rifle length gas system. And if you know your WKs, you're wondering, where did you get that? TNA does in fact make a rifle length gas system. They don't have a price and they don't have it in stock on their website because it is special order. If you email them, they will give you an AR length gas system for a WK. The piston is longer. It has the upgraded adjustable gas system plug, and per some reports and my own experiences, we're not sure if it's doing anything. We're just not. According to Tristan from SBI, the biggest issue with WKs is that piston shearing or breaking at some point and breaking the gun. As long as your gas tube alignment is perfect or pretty good with the piston hole on the upper, you're not going to have any issues with this gun. This is a piston gun. It is going to run basically till the end of time, as long as everything is in alignment. If anything is not aligned, that's when you get the piston breakage that is so famously.
Hold up. Let me fact check this. You're saying that WK-180C will run till the end of time because it's a piston gun.
That's what Tristan from SBI says.
Doubts.
Press X to doubt. There you go.
Press it. I'm mashing that X.
All right.
Mostly because it's a WK.
I am expecting this to fail. That is why when I ordered the gas system, I asked them to send me 2 extra pistons.
We're gonna come back to this in like 10 years and just be like, so how's that gun still running?
No, one year will be enough.
Right now I'm nearing probably 500 rounds, and according to Reddit, that means that this gun has been stress tested to the end of time. So, definitely. What else? I made the decision to not make it any shorter, instead make it longer by putting this obnoxiously long 3-prong flash hider from Maple Ridge Armory. Because I wish this was an FAL, so I can't have an FAL, so I'm getting FAA vials from this flash hider. The biggest issue that I ran into was height over bore. The WK is not like an AR. It has a slightly higher height over bore from the buffer tube to the rail, which means if you put an AR height and you happen to have high cheekbones like this South American that you're staring at, you end up like basically doing like a chin wheel to actually get to look through the freaking AR height optic. Initially, I had a nice lower height optic on this gun, but I want the AR co-witness, so I wanted to get more height. So this is a 3/4 inch riser on the Magpul stock. They sell them in 1/2 inch, they sell them in 1/4 inch, and they sell them in 3/4 inch. So this is a 3/4 inch riser on this gun. Now I've got perfect cheek wheel with my high cheekbones. This aim point is set up on Adriel's patented 30 millimeter Vortex ring, which is the best mount for an Aimpoint Pro because the factory OEM mount is just fat.
Very heavy. Very heavy.
Fat. But I've got an Aimpoint Pro now that I got for free. That's a funny story. And it perfectly co-witnesses with the red dot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I made with this gun. And then I went and I made another gun. That is basically the exact same.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
We have the return of the
Grover.
J180.
Grover, wait a second. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
I am so triggered right now. So yeah, I basically ripped all the guts out of this gun, the J180, to make that Lynx 180. And then something happened. I happened to walk into the Calgary Shooting Center, and they had this stupid thing on the table for $60. What is this?
Oh, yeah.
This is
That's
a
the Hogue?
DPMS.
Oh.
I mean, you know what that stands for, right?
What does it stand for?
Don't purchase me, stupid.
I don't blame you. So they had a label as a 308 AR-10 handguard.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I went, press X to doubt. So I asked them to bring out an AR-10 barrel and we try to fit it on there. And it's like, that ain't fitting on there, fam. Give me an AR-15 barrel. That's an AR-15 handguard. And everybody in the store was like, what? Because apparently it had come in an order for AR-10 parts. And they just assumed that it was an AR-10 handguard. And then when I saw a $60 handguard for an AR-15, I said, cool, give it to me. And they had two, so now I have two of them. So I have
They're cool. I like the solid handguards. You just can't shoot very many rounds or they get so hot. All the heat stays in there.
We'll see.
But they're really cool. I like a solid handguard like that.
So this fat handguard needed a barrel so that I could actually make it work. So I bought another Faxom 20-inch gunner profile barrel, slapped an A2 on it because that's the only thing that I had left that wasn't a gigantic MDT muzzle brake. I might put the gigantic MDT muzzle brake, but right now this gun is like 7.5 pounds. And I'm like, oh, getting all those M16 vibes. Ooh, okay. Problem is it's a Jarge, so I still have to send in the lower to get the upgraded mag release because this mag release still hates everything except Gen 2 crossmags.
Oh.
Gen 2 crossmags actually sit in this thing. And those extremely stupid 10-round IWI mags. P-Mags doesn't like this gun. So I also had to put on the extra height on the stock to get an air optic height on there. And because this actually has a 1913 rail, I can do this. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Oh, this would be.
Can you though?
I mean, shabby.
You got the
I get
peanut
that a
gallery
lot.
back here. It's gonna happen.
I know. Performance exciting.
At least this time it's not a judge saying it, so we're good.
There you go. So what is this? This is a Vortex 3x magnifier. This is a Vortex Crossfire 2 red dot. And now I can operate so fucking hard. Okay? I can operate like the hardest you've ever seen anyone operate because I can literally go, are you ready? Close range and look at that. I can see far away.
I mean, I currently have that on my PCC.
Well, your PCC is stupid because 9mm literally bounces off people after 100 meters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it I mean, it does drop a lot at 100 meters, but it's
does it?
hilarious. It
What are you
dropped a
talking
fair.
about?
I mean, I was shooting 148s, but it dropped a good like 6 inches or so.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah,
much.
no, that's not so bad.
That's not so bad. My holdover with the Ruger Charger is with the 147 subsonics is about 6 inches at 100 yards from a 25-0. So I know, and it's a 3MO. It's this is actually a 6-inch dot. So a 6MOA dot. So it literally doesn't change. So
Now then there's the Scorpion in 32 and shooting that at 100.
oh, you mean like whoop?
Actually, it's a 0 at 75 for the. If you look at the sites, it's 75 and 150. And I tried initially for the 150, and it shot high. Actually, I had to use a 75-0 on the Scorpion to shoot at 100.
Huh. That's nice. The last thing that I did was I made an order in December. I made an order in December that was picked up at the end of December, and it did not make its way to me until the end of January. I am unfortunately now the proud owner of a ping gun. Oh,
So you'll get to enjoy that for what, 3 weeks before it's forcibly confiscated, right?
yeah, definitely. It did have a stripper clip inside of it when I opened the action, and it made the ping, and I got aroused. So
I put that in for you.
oh, look at you, you sly dog. I was wondering if Parat stiffed me on that one stripper clip.
If I get my BFL, I will buy that from you if they're going to ban that.
At a steep discount.
Oh, at a steep discount.
Fire sale prices. Insulting.
It'll just be like, we're going to make this as painful as possible.
Listen, motherfucker, chill the fuck out, will you? Okay. What is this? Is an M1
what do you
brand?
mean buy it from him? He doesn't own it after today, right?
Well, no, this is gonna get sold literally tonight as soon as the live stream is over.
Sold or just like boating?
Yes.
It was sold to another individual, and
I mean, it probably was sold to you. Hey, they're possible liability. You want to get in on this joke? You're now involved.
All right. That Manitoba guy wants to know if it's in God's caliber or NATO.
Does this lock like 30-06 short and weak? Is it 30-06, baby? All right. Is it 30-06? Parat from Discord and Reddit. He makes these things. Just buy that shit off him. He posts some cheap ones every while, sub $2,000.
And the fact that that's what's considered a cheap grand now.
I know. But hey, it's got a really pretty stock on it. And he threw in a nice sling because I let him post on the subreddit without banning him.
Are those bunny ears on the, like? Okay, no, they're not.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought it was like
Adriel's gonna have to show me how to use this thing. I'm pretty sure it's actually a shooting sling, and I haven't used one of these since.
I think I may know who made that.
Yeah, it's really nice sling. Okay. It's a Beretta receiver, I think it is. Wait, no. Yeah, it's a Beretta receiver. It's a new barrel, new stock, and everything else is surplus, but I haven't shot it yet. And I plan to immediately upon firing it, attaining about a 75% stiffy. And yeah,
those are rookie numbers. You gotta step
full on, just the whole thing. Full mass.
Yeah.
You need to be standing there and ensuring that it goes out as far as the gun does.
I like the way you think. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a thing that's going to happen because I have been preparing for this. I've got 13 surplus and block clips.
And block clips, yeah.
I've got 8 TNA new production clips. And Parat was nice enough to include me a 5-round hunting stripper clip. So a deer's getting shot in the face with this gun.
I do find it funny that in Alberta you need that, because in Ontario we could load the 8-round clips.
Yeah. So if anybody's wondering what a magazine limited M1 Grand clip looks like, this is a 5-round M1 Grand clip. What an abomination. Yeah, I've been shooting a lot in this last couple of weeks. I've been trying to get out to the range at least once a week. This week I've not been able to because I've just been slammed. The PAL courses are full. I'm running 2, 3, 4 instructors because we've got the last class was a 25-person class. So it's busy. Our PAL courses saw a decline of 50 to 75% in attendance. So There's less people taking RPAL courses, but there are still people getting RPAL courses. So whenever somebody asks you what's the point of it, you just tell them just get it anyways, because hey, maybe things will get better, maybe
Can't
things
hurt.
won't. Can't hurt. It's that. Another thing that I say, it's a safety training. It's just like being prepared to know what to do if you ever have to handle one of these guns. So there you go. That's what I've got to say about that. That's all I've got to say about that. Oh, I also bought 500 rounds of M1 Grand specific ammunition just to trigger Parat, because he and everybody that knows what they're talking about will completely talk your ear off about whether or not factory modern 30-06 ammunition will literally explode in this gun. So I just bought M1 Grand ammo because it was the cheapest 30-06 ammo I could find.
I didn't find it would explode, but like it definitely. I had my 30-06 Grand rip the rims off some ammo because it was too hot.
Wow.
Wanted to extract it too violently. Not
What
an
is,
issue with my 308.
Crazy. What does Parat say? Make sure your spring is in spec and you've greased it.
I mean, there's that. I know there's also companies that sell gas like vent.
Adriel, get me
things
out
for
of
the end
this
that.
locked in view. Thank you.
This one?
Like they do sell like a vented gas port to prevent overpressure, as well as another possible solution.
Adjustable, yeah. You don't have to do it with 308. 308's just fine, regardless. I run like cheap Nork surplus. It's fine.
Ooh, nice. Look at that.
Now, Dave, you run a business somewhat for firearms things, don't you?
I believe so.
And in the terms of you require a firearm for your employment, right?
I mean,
you
I
require
really do.
handguns.
I actually do.
So, in accordance with the way the ban on transfers is written, since you require handguns for the operation of your business, doesn't
Right.
that mean that you should technically still be able to get handguns?
Well, I believe the wording is handguns may still be transferred to individuals if they're using it for lawful purpose or occupation. No, lawful profession or occupation. Isn't that right, Mr. Runkle?
Yep. And
Right.
that's not necessarily how they're applying it, but
That is in fact not how they are applying it. I can tell you exactly that. I've been in the process.
those wankers.
I mean, he said it, not I. I mean,
And I'll say it again.
yeah. Say it. I'm waiting for it. I've been trying to get not a Glock. I've been trying not to get a Beretta 92. I've been trying to get a Norinco NP22, a SICK P226 clone that I bought on the morning of October 21st, 2022. For those of you that don't know, that was the day of the ban. I believe that I should be covered by the exceptions written into the legislation. However, it is of the opinion of the RCMP, or rather, the folks in Ottawa telling the Alberta CFO what the guidelines are. And feel free to stop me at any point you want, Ian, if you think I may F myself in the future or not by saying anything.
I mean, if you're saying that they are being wankers, you're accurate. But it's not so much that Alberta is the problem here. It's that
it's Ottawa. That's what they said
it's
to
Ottawa.
me in less words, more words.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ottawa is of the opinion that I am not, in fact, exempt under the lawful profession or occupation because I don't hold a firearm business license, even though that makes exactly what difference. Is my primary source of income a business which operates firearms? Yes.
So here's a thing that then comes into question, because obviously they're going to send you a formal rejection letter for the transfer, and you can bring that to court to have it reviewed.
Right, but that's not what they're rejecting me on. You know what they're rejecting me on? They're rejecting me on a separate part of the regulations, which a little bit further down from the exceptions outline what firearm authorization to transport may still be given for handguns under the current regulations for the section of authorization to transport. To make a long story short, you can't get one. If the handgun was not in your possession, and by possession I mean transferred in your name, if you did not hold the registration certificate for that restricted handgun before the ban, the legislation says you cannot be given authorization to transport.
I'm gonna have to go through all of this just to determine sort of what chaos can be caused for all of this.
Why does that prevent me from being given the handgun? I mean, by what they're saying is I can't transport it. But since we're disagreeing on the exemption part, and I think it should still be exempt, therefore, still, should the gun be transferred to me? I say yes. If the gun should still be transferred to me, that means I could theoretically have the gun transferred to me. I just can't transport.
But you only can't transport it from point of sale to your house. Isn't that it?
No, the authorization to transport is what lets me take it out of the house. Right?
No, but it doesn't say that in the legislation that you can't take the gun out of the house regardless, because
So
your
basically-
authorization to transport is not a gun specific thing. The authorization to
Hold
transport.
on. Maybe it is. Ian, is that a specific thing, or is the authorization to transport just a thing that exists for all authorization? I mean, all restricted firearms in my possession.
I'm gonna have to go through this just to be exact, because I don't want to just shoot from the hip on this
From
one.
what I recall, the authorization to transport to ranges, at least, is for all guns in your possession, but you can request authorization to transport for specific firearms in specific cases, or you can request authorization to transport for all firearms in specific cases.
I can tell you this much. I hold an instructor's authorization to transport, which as written outlines that I may transport any restricted firearm registered to me for the purposes of the Canadian Restricted Firearm Safety Force, as long as the firearm is disabled. So basically it says, this person may transport disabled restricted firearms for the purposes of transporting the firearm to the Canadian Restricted Firearm Safety Course.
Yes. So in which case, their argument about authorization to transport would only apply to the fact that in legislation previously they had made the authorization to transport from the point of sale to your residence automatic. And I would assume they made it not automatic anymore. But
we can't make any assumptions because they're just making it up as they go.
I mean, yes. Now, the other interesting thing then is they're going to give you a formal rejection of the transfer, and you can bring that to court.
That is why once this live stream is over, Mr. Runkle and I get to have a conversation.
Now,
Well, I'm going to have to jump fairly soon, so we're going to have a conversation, but it'll be at some point in the near future.
So you do operate, you make your livelihood off of this, but you don't have a firearms business license. So that is one of the things I'm wondering then is when you bring this to court and say, I need this for my job, will the judge then go and decide that every firearms instructor needs a firearms business license because you are operating a business that is utilizing firearms?
That's not really how that works, though. So,
hey, now we're speculating. And since we're speculating, we're going to cut it short. Is there anything else that we got to talk about? All right. Hold on a second. I need to get this fucking live stream. This thing banned. There you go.
I mean, the only other thing we can talk about is we can hope that there will be an election this year because there's enough hubbub about it that it seems likely, and the speculation as to Bill C-21 as well, and everyone's wondering when it's going to be passed.
Let's make it short. They overplayed their hand. They thought they could sneak in all the shit about semi-autos and the handgun ban, and then everybody flipped shit. Even the Canadians,
the Green.
Yeah,
the NDP, the Green, the Bloc, everyone.
The Bloc is still like, hey, we hate our farmers.
But
I mean, Yeah, we'll have to see, because Trudeau is really good at deflecting and dodging because they've got so much media control on all of this stuff. But I mean, we can hope. I mean, it's been how many days that Trudeau has yet never denied the sexual assault allegations against him. So you know, at any time he could say that he didn't actually do it. Like, that's an option he can do whenever he feels like.
No, they just experienced it differently.
I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
if somebody accused me of
or
that, I would
if there's any,
say that it
if there's
never
any
happened.
protesters, remember, if there's any protesters, thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, as for where C21 is, the SCCU is starting again on Friday. There's an intention right now from everyone who's not liberal on the committee to organize the entire committee to go to various gun ranges around the country to speak to people who are going to be affected by the amendments banning everything.
Oh man, if that's
the
going through,
Liberals-
I'm going to be like hanging out at my gun range 24/7 just on the hopes that they show up.
The Liberals, of course, don't want that to happen because they've already stated if that happens, we will need to seek budgetary approval in the upcoming budget, which means that it can't happen until at least April.
Oh,
Given
that
that
would be
every
sad.
other party, given that every other party has said we're doing this, we're going to have these consultations, whether you like it or not, Liberals. Basically, C21's on hold until at least April. Most likely, it won't even be able to get out of committee until like June. Maybe even not until after the summer break. So C21 is basically just stuck in legislative limbo right now because the Liberals overplayed their hand, which, by the way, was the intention all along. And we know this because Pauly Saint-Souvian told the Hill Times that Marco Mendicino promised to do this to them, to that bill, when they introduced it in June of last year. So remember that this amendment came out like fucking last minute in like November or some shit? He promised the anti-gun lobby they were going to do this in June. It was always the Liberals' intention
They were
to
just
shove
waiting
this
for a
in the last
scandal,
second.
right? I mean, when did this drop? Oh, right. They were just doing the RCMP.
It's not even
inquiries.
a matter of that. They were planning it for this committee stage because it's already being past the majority of the legislative process. By amending it at the last minute like this, it bypasses the democratic process through fucking everything. No first reading, no second reading. It bypasses committee. They can effectively introduce an entire bill onto an existing bill at the last stage that the bill can be amended before getting to the Senate.
Yeah.
And then when the Senate says, no, we don't want this, they can just reject the Senate's amendments and then get into a legal fuckery with that, and the Senate will just pass it because they're spineless. But they did this deliberately to bypass the democratic process and promised Pauly Saint-Souvian they'd do it this way to bypass the democratic process. Pauly Saint-Souvian said it's the only reason they supported C21 in the first place is because the Liberals promised they were going to introduce an amendment to it to ban semi-autos.
They've overplayed their hand.
And here's the fun thing is that, you know, I have the great hope that, you know, if the Conservatives go through, they should be like, so Pauly, let's talk about your funding. We've got a nice round number in mind for future funding. In fact, it's actually just one circle. So, yeah, round numbers.
Yeah. Hey, here's hoping. Find some wood and knock. Oh, hey, look, some wood. That's it, folks. This is the.
You can't keep telling us about how your new gun gives you wood.
Literally goes ping. Okay, literally. All right. This is the quality of content here, folks. Get used to it.
Yeah, you're not going to see this on other channels.
No, we're still we're actively trying to get the channel banned now. So.
I mean, if that's the case, there's a couple of words we could just say.
Hey, slow down with the words. That's the easiest way. I'm just gonna make some ammo next time we're live streaming and just see what happens.
Start reloading.
Just start reloading. I mean, is Adriel making ammunition right now?
I'm loading up stripper clips, but check this one out that I found in the bin. Look.
What the?
It's been struck.
Ooh.
Got a light strike on that one.
No. Put it in there. Let's see what happens.
I'm putting that in a special pile. I'm not having that come up in the middle of an M1 Garand clip as I'm trying to like shoot a match.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're midway through a match and it's just like, Click.
or extra spicy. Who knows?
I mean, if it's
Anyways.
Norinco, I can tell you. Well, their
It'll
5.56 had better quality control, and their 7.62 by 39 has better quality control than the Chinese Albanian supplied 7.62 by 54 that I have.
Jesus
This stuff will
Christ.
fire. It'll fire on the second.
Does it smell like
second hit.
shit?
It doesn't smell good. It smells very
Because I had some
metallic.
5.56 ball that actually reeked.
Oh,
Like,
that stuff reeked. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 5.56 melee ammo. That's how we're gonna end this show. Bye. Adriel, kill it.